conducting this morning's meeting. I hereby call the meeting of the Capital Committee to order at 9 a.m. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with the live streaming law, this meeting is being conducted via video conference and is being live streamed on the Maryland Transportation Authority Capital Committee page. As a reminder, all members of the Capital Committee will have their video active during the entirety of the meeting. To minimize background noise during the call, I would ask that everyone on the line please mute your phones. I ask that anyone who is presenting or answering questions, please turn your video and audio on when speaking. When you are done, please turn your video off and put your audio on mute. There are no members of the public and no elected officials and no media that have pre-registered to commit to today's meeting. At this time, we will move on to the agenda item number 1.
This is Mario. I'll move for approval of the open session meeting minutes of February 4th, 2021.
Okay.
Bill.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by aye.
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 Okay. All righty. We will move on. The first item on the agenda is approval of open session meeting minutes of February 4th. So I have a motion to approve the minutes of that meeting.
We're done.
I'll make a motion.
Signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Looks like the ayes have it. So, okay, next we have approval of Kennedy Highway 3026-000 wind shear device retrofit, and miscellaneous repairs at the Millard E. Tidings Memorial Bridge Rehabilitation. And that will be presented by Parul Sabello. I'm not saying it right, I know.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Ruel Sabiliano, and I'm the project manager for KH3026 wind shear device retrofit and miscellaneous repairs at the Millard E. Tidings Memorial Bridge on I-95 over Susquehanna River. This project is to rehabilitate the Tidings Memorial Bridge, which is located in the GFK facility of MDTA in Harford and Cecil counties. The bridge identity number for this structure is H-X907001, and it was built in 1963. The rehabilitation work consists of rehabilitating, strengthening, repairing, and or replacing the concrete and steel portions of the bridge. The engineer's estimate for this contract was $6,722,750. It was advertised on September 30th, 2020. 6 bids were received on December 16, 2020. Low bid price was 24% higher than the engineer's estimate, so a bid justification was prepared and approved for this project. There was no bid protest or rejection. The MBE overall goal is 28%, with 8% African American, 11% women-owned, and 2% veterans. MDTA approval of the apparent low bidder and MBE goals is still pending. The apparent low bidder, J.D. Ekman, successfully completed similar projects for the Delaware Department of Transportation, DelDOT, like the rehabilitation of the Delaware Memorial Bridge, and as well as Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, or PennDOT, like the rehabilitation of Pennsylvania Bridge. In addition, J.D. Ekman Incorporated was provided with project-specific questions regarding the scope and bid prices submitted for this project. And the company's responses demonstrate that J.D. Ekman Incorporated thoroughly understands the scope of this contract to the satisfaction of MDTA. The responses were verified by doing reference check, and all responses received have confirmed that JD Ekman, as a contractor on their projects, was reliable, performed quality work, and completed projects on time and on budget. The notice, the construction notice to proceed is anticipated in May of 2021, and the contract duration is 660 calendar days. This project is 100% funded by our customers' toll dollars, and we are seeking recommended approval from the Capital Committee to present this contract to the full MDTA board. Thank you. Please let me know if you have any questions.
I got a quick
Go ahead.
question. If I
Go
can
ahead,
just
Lee.
jump in there. Just can you explain to me, Ruel, what the wind shear device does and what's wrong with it and why we have to spend all this money on it
Yeah, the
before we talk about the bid
Tacoma-
itself? Yeah.
Tell them about the Tacoma Narrows Bridge.
Okay, well, I've seen
Yeah.
those videos. Is that what it
Right,
is? That
so-
basically it?
Yeah, the wind shear device supports the bridge laterally. So there are a few of these along the bridge, so that when the wind is blowing from either directions, it supports the bridge laterally. So it's very important to keep this part of the bridge rehabilitated and fully functional. So
Do we have this on all the-
based on our most recent inspections, right after the painting job, there were parts of this wind shear device that were fully corroded and has already started losing some sections. So we are replacing steel portion of it, and we're retrofitting some portions of it as well.
I've got I guess one maybe not that important question, but I know that the Delaware Memorial Bridge is actually owned by the Delaware River Bay Authority, not DelDOT. So I'm assuming that's what you really meant.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think I meant
That's okay.
the tall.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
My mistake.
No, and the reason why I recommend or reference that is because they actually copied our dehumidification idea of the Bay Bridge for the Delaware Memorial Bridge.
Right.
So they were paying attention to what we were doing, which is pretty cool. And I guess secondly, I think I ask this question all the time, but we're 100% funded by tolls. Are we in good financial shape to take this on? I know it's in the capital budget. I'm just asking the silly question.
Yeah, good morning, members. This is Acting Chief Engineer Jim Harkness. So just to chime in on that point, yes, we have been tracking, of course, our spending and our budgets very closely and continuing to monitor the impact of revenues. And fortunately, if you could recall over the past several meetings, the FY20 meetings, we've had pretty favorable bid results, thankfully. And so at this point in the fiscal year, we are, on the whole, still below what our budgets had been projected at when we've taken our bids. So this project, while yes, it is concerning that it was above our estimate, we are, on the whole, able to, continue to keep this in our budget as the bid results came in.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes.
I guess the question I have is where we've been doing pretty well as far as coming in under bid, but this one's almost 30% overbid. And is there, I heard the presentation, but is there really discrepancy in the engineer's estimate versus what the bids came in? Yeah.
So what happened is when we evaluated the engineer's estimate versus the different bids, we found out our estimate, we did consider the work can be done, combination of MOT/snooper from top, or it could be scaffolding. But the contractor's means and methods may differ in this area, and that may have caused the underestimation. And if we have underestimated the number of days there based on that reason, then the number of days for the safety boat and access costs will also be impacted. And that generally was the main reason why there was a big difference between the EE and the apparent low bidder.
Okay, thank you.
I guess they're gonna affect traffic just because they're staging it on the deck, I guess, right? I mean, how much is it gonna affect traffic? They taking out, they're gonna take out one lane or
Yeah.
more than one lane? You know?
Yeah, we're trying to minimize the traffic here, so that's why we kind of make sure it's a combination of both. There's a catwalk, so there are repairs up top that need some closures, like the deck, deck patching and all those other repairs. But as much as possible, we make sure we close the bridge we close a lane for a single lane for a short period of time, and giving time for all the workers to go down below. This windshield device is below the deck. So as long as we can have combination of those, snooper and scaffolding type of work, we will be able to minimize the impact of traffic up top.
Certainly not minimizing the price.
Yes.
I have a question. Is there any life cycle cost analysis on this project?
For this project, we have not done a life cycle cost analysis yet as of this time, but we can certainly take a look at that.
Well, we do have a life cycle cost analysis for the bridge.
For the bridge. Oh, okay. I thought that's asking for the. Okay, go ahead, Jim. Sorry, I misunderstood.
No, I think. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that the members understood that this bridge is one of the ones we've completed a life cycle analysis on. So we have a long-term view for moving forward on this bridge. So we do have that document.
Okay, thank you.
This is Mario. I'll move for approval of contract number KH-3026-0000.
I'll second it. Member Cox.
All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is approval of MR 3019000 on-call facility repairs, and that's Robert Michael. Up, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the Capital Committee. This is Robert Michael. I'm the Campus Facilities Engineering Manager in the Office of Engineering and Construction. I'm here to present to you contract number MR 3019-0000 to provide on-call facility repairs. The funding is under PIN number 2523 in the capital program. The scope of work for this project will include all labor, equipment, and materials necessary that will be assigned per task to perform any miscellaneous facility and other repairs, upgrades, replacements, and also new construction at any of our MDTA facilities. Work could include the interior buildings, exteriors, structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, civil, utilities, and any hazardous materials removal that may be required per each task order that will be assigned. This project was advertised in December 8th of 2020. Bids were received and opened in February 3rd of 2021. The anticipated notice to proceed based upon the board and the Capital Committee's recommendations would be in April of 2021. The calendar duration for this project is 1,460 days. The engineer's estimate for this contract was $5 million. 2 bids were received and open. The low bid of $4.9 million was received by Nichols Contracting Incorporated. The second bid of $5.6 million was received by Bronner Builders Incorporated. Since these bids were within our designated justification was not needed because they were within our 10% budget requirement. There was no bid protest received on this particular contract. The funding for this contract will be 100% toll revenue for all the work that will be completed. The MBE participation per the contract was 18% overall with no sub-goals and a 1% VSBE requirement. Currently, the contractor has submitted their plans to MDTA for review and approval, so the goals are pending our review and approval internally at MDTA. As Nichols Contracting Incorporated has not previously performed any work or had it been awarded any contracts for the authority, a reference verification was performed. All responses that were received from state and local governments, from the state of Maryland as well as Virginia, were received and were very positive based on their past performance for schedule and also work performance and supervision of their task and their contracts. We are recommending a contingent approval from the Capital Committee for award of the contract to Nichols Contracting Incorporated for presentation to the full board at the next scheduled meeting. Thank you very much. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have on my presentation.
Do you have a history of the contractor?
Yes, so they were required to submit an experience questionnaire. So they offered up to us a really good experience form. And I actually inquired into about 12 different of their references, and each reference came back with all positive information. So they work for the federal government as well as local governments in Maryland counties and local governments in Virginia and state as well. So they have a really vast record with working with our local, local agencies.
Very good. Very good. Okay.
I actually got one question. Pretty significant difference. I know there's only 2 bids, but Bronner and Nichols are pretty far apart. Is there any thoughts as to when you compared them? What was the biggest reason why? Probably don't care because we got a low number, but still, I'm just curious.
On these types of on-call contracts, what we do within the contract, we provide a section that outlines labor for our buildings. And within that, we identify and put into the bid several different trades for each one of them to bid on. And some of the trades, like the supervisor or the construction manager, there may be additional things within their hourly rate. Whether they're in the home office, we may allow them to do certain things, and we specify that in the contract, as well as the vehicle for the primary supervision. We include that in their bid for that particular hourly item, because there may not be on one specific task. We may have multiple task assignments being carried on at one time. So they may have to travel from assignment to assignment in any given day, week, etc. But the other trades are designated per assignment, per wherever that building is or wherever that location is. So where we see some variance is how they look at the supervision and how they bid that to us. That's where we see the biggest variance. And also some of the trades, we go by some of the indexes within our region. And then depending if they're going to hire a sub or have in-house trade, that affects what rate we get back from them. Because we give them a wide range of potential work, but we do identify the critical trades in the HVAC category, in electrical category, plumbing. We don't give as much structural, but those are the things that we see the biggest variance in. although we do give them an opportunity to bid on equipment and also materials. And there's some specialized work that we provide allowances. You'll see that in our contract as well for also specialized subs and our overall materials. Those are all allowances that are negotiated when the task order is submitted for the scope of work. So they're really bid on the labor. That's where we see the biggest difference between the two contractors.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Do we
Mr.
have a
Chairman, I'll
motion?
make a motion, we approve the contract.
I'll second it.
All in favor, signify by aye.
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 Okay, the ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Great
sir.
Great presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, members.
Okay, gentlemen, you know what's next? Vote for adjournment. of the
Well, you
meeting.
screwed up. It's 20 minutes and we're only had 15-minute agenda.
Oh, geez, I'll buy you a beer.
I'll move for adjournment.
Okay, very good. All in favor,
I'll
signify by aye.
second.
Okay, I'll signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All righty, the ayes have it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, everybody. Be safe, everybody.
Yeah, everybody be
Stay-
safe. Pray for
Leave
traveling.
the match today.
Remember, Cox, be nice to Ebony.
Thank you.
I know, it's tough, tough, tough.